Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to uncover exactly why traditional meditation might actually be failing you right now. And more importantly, how an ancient, totally science backed concept called Hinyan offers a complete game changer of an alternative. Look, we live in an era of just unprecedented information overload, right? For a lot of us, the old ways of finding peace just aren't cutting it anymore. So we're going to explore exactly why that's happening and what we can actually do about it. We've got a fascinating roadmap for you today. We are covering the modern mindfulness trap, the eyes open era, defining the harmonized mind, your personal tuning profile, and finally, becoming a resonance system. Let's jump in. Section 1. The modern mindfulness trap. Why closing your eyes is failing you. So for the last 20 years or so, traditional mindfulness has basically told us to look inward, close our eyes, fight our thoughts, and disconnect. But the paradigm shift we're looking at today says the exact opposite. Salvation in the modern era doesn't come from shutting the world out. It comes from letting it in. Think about it. Traditional mindfulness was built for a world that was, well, already quiet. Back in the day, a walk at dusk would naturally settle your mind. Today, closing your eyes often just traps you in a cage with your own spiraling thoughts. And there's a biological reason for that exhaustion. Our brains are fundamentally different today because of massive information overload. The literal second you close your eyes, your default mode network, or DMN, kicks into high gear. It lights up like a massive city grid at night, just completely flooding you with yesterday's embarrassments, tomorrow's anxieties, and, all those unread emails. So close-eye meditation in our digital age has accidentally turned into a total battleground against our own DMN. We're not failing at meditation, guys. We're just using a tool that literally no longer fits our neural environment. Which brings us to Section 2, the eyes open era, letting the world in. We are officially entering what we are calling the eyes open era. Instead of forcing your focus to suppress all that mental turbulence, this approach uses the physical world, the wind, water, light, sounds, to naturally overwhelm and quiet your DMN without any effort at all. I mean, think about it. When your brain is flooded with really rich, real-world sensory data, like the rough texture of a tree trunk, the crisp temperature of the air, or even just the sound of traffic, the DMN simply doesn't have the processing space to run its anxiety loops. You aren't suppressing your thoughts, you're literally drowning them out with the sheer reality of the physical world. Moving right along to Section 3, defining the harmonized mind. Redefining the yan and hey. Now that we get the problem, let's strip away some of the mystical baggage and look at the actual mechanics here. In ancient texts, the word neon is usually just mistranslated as a passing thought. But actually, it's your nervous system's vibration. It's the underlying frequency of your consciousness. And he simply means synchronization. So he neon isn't about controlling your thoughts at all. It's about synchronizing your internal biological frequency with the physical environment around you. Basically, it's matching your rhythm to the world's rhythm. Here's a perfect example. Someone once observed a little 3-year-old girl on a subway, eating a cookie. She examined every single crumb, smelled it deeply, and tasted it like it was the absolute most profound thing in the universe. She wasn't overthinking anything. She was just fully resonating with her world. That right there, that is pure neon. She wasn't disconnected in some deep meditative trance. She was profoundly, vibrationally present in the moment. When we finally stop fighting our thoughts, these 3 levels of synchronization just happen seamlessly. First, your brain syncs with nature simply by letting light hit your retina. It's that basic. Second, your ego relaxes into the physical space around you. You stop being this tightly wound ball of stress and literally start blending into the room. And third, your senses and awareness just completely merge. You don't have to try to be aware. The awareness happens automatically because you're fully absorbing the present. You go from being an isolated, stressed-out individual into a seamless extension of your surroundings. It really boils down to this incredibly elegant formula. When light from the world enters your eye, when your nervous system processes it, and when your body's physical energy, or qi, aligns with that input, true resonance is achieved instantly. It's not a struggle, it's not something you have to force, it's just a biological click. It's actually fascinating to think of Hinyan as the mental equivalent of ancient martial arts. In traditional practices like Shengyi Quan, fighters trained to align their physical bodies, their shoulders, hips, elbows, with the physical space around them to generate massive power and stability. Well, we are doing the exact same thing, but internally.
We're aligning our nervous systems, our vision, our touch, with sensory input to generate mental stability. It's the ancient concept of outer alignment directly applied to our modern inner chaos. Pretty amazing, right?
All right, section 4, your personal tuning profile, the 5 elements framework. Let's get into the most actionable part of this explainer. We're going to use the traditional 5 elements not as mystical symbols, but as dynamic physiological tuning profiles. Because, hey, we don't all sync with the environment the exact same way. Take the high energy profiles, for example. If you have a wood profile, your energy naturally wants to expand outward. But modern office spaces compress you, which causes massive stress. So your tuning method isn't to sit in a dark room. It's to get out into an open space and look at natural textures, like the veins on a leaf, to release that compression. Now, if you have a fire profile, your thoughts are probably moving incredibly fast. You definitely don't need a blank wall. You need environments with high-order structure, like an art exhibit or the structured light of a winter afternoon, to safely anchor that fast-moving mind. Then we shift gears to the grounding profiles, where the pace really slows down. Earth types are heavy information processors. They literally need to give their weight to the ground or even hold a heavy stone to unload all those mental burdens. Metal profiles, on the other hand, seek order and boundaries. They find resonance in minimalist empty spaces or crisp cold mornings, using something like the fading ring of a bell to let their thoughts fade out. And water profiles? They're highly sensitive emotional absorbers. They need to watch rain or flowing rivers to literally let their accumulated mental debris wash away. It's all about finding what matches your specific state and using it. And finally, section 5, becoming a resonant system, the frequency of the universe. The ancient Chinese actually mapped these physiological states into 5 specific musical tones, which absolutely proves that listening to your favorite heavy bass track isn't just a mood booster, it is a structural tool to recalibrate your entire body. Like, if you're a metal type feeling completely chaotic, the echoing sound of a bell, the shong tone, acts as a literal physical tuning fork for your nervous system. You aren't just passively listening to music, you are undergoing a profound structural realignment. How cool is that? So here is the ultimate paradigm shift, and really the main thing you should take away from this explainer today. If you're feeling overwhelmed, you are not broken. You don't have some personal flaw that needs to be quote-unquote fixed through rigid, punishing meditation. You just need to borrow some environmental resonance. Your body is quite literally a tuning fork. The mountains, the wind, the light, they are your tuners. You're just one node in a massive, beautiful, universal system. So before you close your eyes and go to war with your own mind yet again, ask yourself this: what frequency will you tune into today? The world is already broadcasting peace. How much more of your life are you willing to spend fighting your own brain when you could just open your eyes and let the world in?